Y'all need to get one of these right here, massages for your legs and your arms.
Oh, I got one. Well, I got the concussion one. So
Yeah, folks, headaches. What's up on the docket today? We got somebody still say they want to coach in HBCU football.
well,
I thought he said he didn't though.
Man,
I swore he said.
Oh no, he said
his job.
He said he wanted to coach, but he said he wanted to be on the yard.
He wanted to go there.
He said he wanted to be on the yard at Howard.
So he's just a specific
for reasons he ain't got no. Yeah. Shut up, Troy. I'm trying to.
Wait,
my best not
wait. Well, I guess
lose
no. Save it for the stream then. Save it for the podcast. Because
I'm saving for the stream.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I want to hear this.
I guess we don't need to talk about A&T in Hampton playing in the HBCU Classic.
How do they decide who gets to play?
That got some. I believe it's rotating, but there was some controversy.
Who's the other team? Hampton
put out a tweet, and there was some controversy.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina A&T. I used to say NCAT, but I got schooled on not saying NCAT, that they want me to say A&T.
Yes, it's
and if I'm not mistaken, it's different. Yeah, it's different amongst the generations. So some generations say North Carolina A&T. Some people say A&T. Apparently, nobody says NCAT, but
no, hell no. No. When I go see my peoples, I'm gonna tell them like, hey, you go to NCAT. I'm gonna see what their reaction is.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. Absolutely crazy. So there's that. Let me see about Marlo.
You said Liv put out a tweet though. What was it in regards?
Basically, just saying that it was just in regards to losing programs getting a national spotlight, whereas a program, and I'm just throwing out an example, a program like Norfolk State not getting the opportunity.
Right.
And then, E never wanted to let a day pass to take a shot at Morgan State. Said, well, if it was just about brands, Morgan State should have never got their shot.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, I just. Oh man, something else, man. Late breaking.
I feel like that's fair.
Late breaking. Tommy Castellanos filed an appeal to the House settlement. So, yeah, that broke late. I don't know if we're gonna be able to tackle that tonight. I don't know. Let me call Marlo. Once I call Marlo, then we'll go live. I haven't seen anything from TP yet. But the names for that Swingman Classic, there's some names on there.
Oh, yeah.
It is some names on there. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and go live. For the 18 hour in the building, my apologies. I just wanted to go live to get that Instagram stream rolling. So, I feel like, and it may just be my computer, because y'all look fine, but my camera looks slow, so it may just be my computer. The monitoring in. But I'll go ahead and kick it off. I'm gonna mark it here 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of the Madness Basketball Podcast. Myself, TP, Doc Holiday. I think Lord Jamal is on the way. Marlo is on the way. I think. Not sure because he's got projects to get out before SWAC Media Day. I do as well, so I understand if he doesn't make it. Real quick update on my cancer treatment. I get my PET CT scan on Thursday, so that will be another thing out of the way so I can actually start treatment. And I won't feel so tired like I am today because not only having cancer, but having that sugar don't help either. I see the JSU by fitted, but I'm assuming that's for Grambling State. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's for. But I guess we'll start it off. Let me. You know what? This deserves an applause. It absolutely deserves an applause because I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it for a while, and a lot of people don't believe me, and that's okay. That's okay. That is okay. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been 3 years, but I'm gonna make my triumphant return back to video gaming, back to F them kids run draw, F them kids run stretch. I'm coming back. I've seen enough. I've seen problem today. Button the kid's life away. And if I can do that many stiff arms in a 60-yard run, yes, I'm coming back.
Skip on, man.
Dust off the Amex, bust the blunders open. I'm finna make somebody's child cry on these video games. And it's been 3 years. I think it's time. The world needs to see Uncle Jazz back. What's going on, Avis? I hope I'm saying that right. Avis, what's going on?
Hey,
I see you say that's for everybody again. Talking noise in July is just that. It's just noise. It's just noise. So I'm coming back to Madden. That's the announcement. The stream will be, I'm going to do a stream after the podcast next Thursday. So that'll be after SWAC Media Day. Everything will be out of the way. I'm going to do that stream. I'm going to do that stream. And I want to do a 24-hour stream for charity. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's definitely not gonna happen. But that being said, welcome for real. I want to welcome everybody to another edition of the the Madness Basketball Podcast. Like I said, I'm coming back to video games where DK, quite honestly, got me out of my shell and got me streaming. So I'm going to be back. New equipment, better setup. Yeah, I'm ready. Some other news today. We need to talk about the NBA has announced the HBCU Basketball Classic, and 2 schools did a joint press conference announcing their playing today. The announcement was very timely because there had been this whole North Carolina A&T and Hampton going back to the MEAC, yada, yada, yada. So shout out to those 2 schools for taking advantage of the algorithm and making that announcement on top of that noise on social media. That was real good marketing. But Liv sent out a tweet.
I feel like that was a W.
Liv sent out a tweet. No. Liv sent out a tweet today. Oh man, and what she did was in earnest, but it's certain fan bases who are going to respond to criticism, right? And I understand that. Sometimes we respond. So A&T responded to Liv's tweet. I'll say what I said and I ask everybody else's opinion. My opinion was that while I agree with Liv, when you have decision makers making these decisions, especially non-HBCU people, I'm not sure if they're not. I'm just saying the entity of the NBA is a non-HBCU entity. They're looking at, okay, what's the historical data? Yes, these schools have been winning for the last 5 years, but we have a treasure trove of information knowing that North Carolina A&T not only supports, they watch, they show up. So that's that historical data. Hampton, similar situation. They have had a history of very good basketball. They support, they show up, so on and so forth. However, the backlash was not for Hampton. The backlash came with A&T being involved. So I just go around the room and y'all just tell me what you think about it. DK, what you got on this, man?
Now that I'm gonna be honest, I'm not well versed at on the subject on on how they select who's in this game. But now with you mentioning though that I guess these two teams in particular are going back into the conference, from an outsider's perspective in that way, now it's like, oh dang, like that kind of makes sense. Like if that's it makes sense and it's kind of easy. It's you don't have to like you don't really have to pick between, I don't know, like what is it, maybe 30 schools, give or take. But to Liv's point though, I do like initially my thoughts were like, yeah, why not try to get some like just good competition? That way it kind of, again, in that way will grow the HBCU community, I guess. Like when you see good talent out there, and not only that, it's going to give those guys
I get it.
a bigger shot to go further. But I think that small caveat of them going back into their conference and everything, I think that's cool. I think that's cool, and there should be some light shed on that. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it, really.
Doc, what you got?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out Liv trying to destroy all of college basketball basketball today. But I mean, she got a point. Like, why is A&T in this? Why are you picking them when they haven't had a winning program? I mean, they're decent at best, but you got a school like Norfolk State that's out there that's going out beating everybody, and is willing to play anybody and everybody. Why don't you not pick them? Why not? There's another school, North Carolina Central. If you're gonna go somewhere in the MEAC or just over in that area, you could have picked those 2 schools right there. I would have said Hampton also, but when you look at it, this is the All-Star game is in February. Hampton and A&T are playing the game in February at the All-Star game. This is really a conference game if you think about it. It's a conference game where they could have had this at Corbett or they could have had this at the Convocation Center in Hampton. They really didn't need to be. They don't really need to be out at the All-Star game. You couldn't get like she said, you could have got a team like Norfolk State. You could have got a team like you could have got a team. You could have got some team like Alabama State. You could have got a team like Grambling. I mean, Grambling, Jackson State. Like you could have got other teams out there. And see, the thing about it is, you're not going to get too much for the pick of the litter from the MEAC because it's on in basketball terms, it's only 8 schools in that conference, and so then we're gonna go back to the conference needs to expand, but they don't want to do it. They feel like that they're when it comes to basketball, their 8 is going to be good, but you also got to understand you got football. You got these 6 football schools that's carrying this whole conference too. So Liv said what she said, and she was fully right in what she said. So I can't take nothing away from that. Like just those 2 schools alone, they in the same conference. They could have been they could have had that game at Corbin. They could have had that game at the Convocation Center. You could have got somebody else to come play that game. And I figured they should have got Norfolk State. Norfolk State is the best brand for college basketball, for HBCU basketball right now.
You know what? I'm gonna go to Marlo. I'm gonna go because Danny isn't alum, but one of these schools. I'm gonna go to her last. Marlo, what you got on this?
I don't give a shit about neither one of them schools.
Oh, no.
I want to watch neither one of them motherfuckers play dead. So, North Carolina, A&T, and the other goddamn school. Fuck them.
No.
No, basketball. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't really got no comment about them, but absolutely fuck them. So yeah.
Oh, it's a good idea that you let Danny go last.
Thank you, Mom.
I'm sure she got something to say now.
TP, what you got, man?
And those are just my opinions. My affiliates are not forcing me to say this. This is strictly from the heart. Fuck 'em.
What the hell is going on? Marlo, mute your mic.
What's the question, Troy?
Should North Carolina
The question is, do you feel
the HBCU Classic for All-Star?
Wait, repeat that, because both of y'all was trying to talk at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Troy. Give me the question.
So should North Carolina A&T and Hampton be playing in the HBCU Classic during NBA All-Star Weekend, since North Carolina A&T has had a losing season or losing seasons in basketball for like the last 5 years?
I mean, is anybody going to watch? Probably not, right?
No.
So what bearings does it really hold? It ain't like people watching the All-Star game anyway. The NBA All-Star game has lost its thunder over the last 5 years to the point where viewership is about as low as it can be. So, I mean, I don't see the benefit or hindrance of having it that weekend. The people that want to watch it are going to watch it. And those that don't know about it or don't care, they probably going to be doing something else anyway. You can have it the weekend before, you'll have the same numbers.
I don't know that you would have the same.
All right, Danny.
So here's my thing. I have several thoughts. Number one, why A&T? Like, why? Just why? And I'm not even saying it because it's a Hampton But if I'm looking at marketing and I'm looking at the fact that um you've got Hampton, Norfolk State has had a stellar year, like stellar few years. Um, as a basketball fan, as an HBCU fan, I would put Hampton and Norfolk State up against each other in that game. Like if Hampton's going to be the choice, I definitely would not put them against A&T because that's not a rivalry. That's not even like that does not generate excitement. But putting Hampton against their rival when they have not been playing because
Oh
they
shit.
oh hell. Wait a minute. The king of HBCU basketball. Okay. I'ma leave that one alone. We gonna leave that alone. Go for your HBCU. I feel you, bro. I feel you. I would definitely choose teams that offer up more of a rivalry for sure. Um, it's and then to choose that weekend is just dumb. Like, why would you even want to compete with a sports event at that level? Like, why do we?
I think it's part of the whole weekend experience there.
Is that what this one
Yeah,
is?
I
Yeah,
think that game is
yeah, it's part of the whole. Yeah, it's
game.
part of the whole
Yeah.
week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought someone said that it was
No, that
separate.
would be very
Like
bad.
this was a separate game, and I'm gonna tell you why I said it because I actually know that there are other HBCU. They've tried to do that before. They've tried to create other classics and games around like competing with each other. And I'm just like, Lord, we gotta stop doing that. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Again when I'm thinking about communications and marketing and stuff. I want to be able to talk about a game from a different level. If we're gonna be part of this, I want it to be something exciting. I want people, and I'm not saying that A&T that A&T travels well. Like that's one thing that they do for sure. They do travel pretty well. But if I'm looking at it, I'm like, what two teams can I put against each other that are really going to be a great display of not just the sport itself, but HBCU culture and whose fans are going to travel?
Yeah.
Who's showing up for us? And how are we going to market this in a way that builds even more excitement? And I think that that's one of the things that I have seen recently with a lot of these events is that the marketing itself, the storytelling about the games is lacking. And so you want butts and seats, but you
I
are not giving them enough to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me something to stay. Like, give me something that's gonna be like, yeah, I'm coming to this game because the stories behind it lead me to believe that it's going to be exciting regardless. Whose band is coming? Are we bringing the pet bands? Like
Yeah,
there
they bring everything. They pay for everything, from my knowledge.
so I don't know. I love I love HBCU sports. I just want us to do right by ourselves so that others will do right by us as well. And sometimes I feel like we miss the mark on that. A lot of times I feel like we miss the mark on that because we're not marketing it enough. And to choose
I'm
those
gonna ask it.
teams, I'm just wondering, do the people making these choices know anything? Who is sitting at the table on our behalf when these choices are made? Do we have anybody? Is there an HBCU alum or
So,
who's there?
I have a few questions, right? Since we have A&T people in the chat, where is your largest? Is there a large Los Angeles alumni contingent of North Carolina A&T in LA? I'm just trying to figure out if that is the case. If you have a large alumni contingent in LA, okay, that makes sense. There's not a huge travel hurdle. You're gonna have butts in the seats. If there's not, then there are other questions. The same question about Hampton. Does Hampton have a large LA alumni contingent? I don't know.
It's moderate. I wouldn't say large, but I mean it's a decent.
Okay.
It's a decent number.
You
But
saying
again, I don't know that
Okay.
means people are
So-
traveling. You know,
They are doing. Hold on, let me go ahead and say this. They are doing the matchups by conference. However, that also is another controversy because this is a HBCU classic, and these two particular teams do not play in an HBCU conference, and that's another part of the controversy.
I agree. I think that if that's what this is about,
So-
and I agree, like I think we can bring more awareness and excitement if we did it within HBCU conferences. And my school is playing, and I don't know, you know.
Yeah. No, we get that, and we often when we talk about.
Sorry.
No, we know that, but what we're talking about is the assumption was before that this would be the HBCU conferences. When we on this show talk about North Carolina A&T, Hampton, and Tennessee State, we talk about them as independents. We don't necessarily reference them as CAA, because when we reference them as independents, even though they're in the CAA and the OVC. So I don't want you to think that we don't know you're an HBCU. And I'm fully aware you're HBCU. It's just
HBCU?
the noise around the CAA.
Are you
Oh,
an
shit.
HBCU, A&T? Are you an HBCU, A&T? Hey, you see the more white conferences than everybody else.
Crickets.
At least Hampton said, "Hey, we just gonna go over here because it makes more sense for us."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all just follow suit. Y'all was in two.
I am not trying to. You know what? We're going to move along. So, speaking of other HBCU influence games, the Swingman Classic has made their announcements for MLB All-Star Weekend. There's some big names in there. All right. So, let me put this up right now when I say this, because I already know what's going to come behind it. It's a couple big names from that school in Daytona. And is it Zambrano? That Zambrano kid?
Mm-hmm.
I am thinking that he may take it. Because he was the slugger of the year. Swing.
What school you say he played for?
1 second, pull up this roster list again.
There you go.
What school you say he played for?
Here we go.
They don't,
Play for the school that they talking about.
Here you go.
they don't want to repeat because you talking about they got a big name. The only thing big is the beach in damn Daytona.
Oh, Jesus.
Goddamn name they got big over there.
Damn.
That was a stretch, sir. I'm just saying. What am I lying? You couldn't even. You said one big name and you couldn't even think of their name.
No.
So you know.
Can I? I was pulling up my list again. You know, as podcaster and producer, I have to do multiple things. So let me pull up the names. Oh, dear Father God. So
You could take your time.
in
Names in no damn Daytona.
I'm gonna have to mute him. This is gonna be a long stretch. So pitch. I'm just gonna go down National League roster and the American League roster, and maybe we can get through this without controversy. All right. So in the National League roster, the Jordan roster is DeMarcus Smiley from Alabama State, Brody Popo from FAMU, Erwin Escobar from BCU, Juan Cruz from Alabama State, JT Taylor from North Carolina A&T, Daniel Moore from CSU. Is that which CSU is that?
Central State.
Is that Cheney State? Central State? Okay, Central State. Jesus Venegas from Alabama State, Elijah Pinckney from Morehouse, Robert Tate from Jackson State, Ahmad Donato from Prairie View A&M, Cornell Thibodeau from Southern, Cameron Douglas from ASU. ASU got a lot of people on here. We're going to get back to that. Jacob Radcliffe from Southern, Trey Bridges from, is that Tennessee State or Texas Southern?
Trey
I'm
Bridges.
going to assume it's Tennessee State.
You say Trey Bridges?
Yeah.
Grambling.
Yeah.
You got
Why they
Kelvin
got
Phillips,
TSU on here? Okay.
Texas Southern.
Kelvin Phillips from TSU. Okay, Texas Southern. Okay. Trey Rutledge from Alabama A&M. Jamal Ritter from FAMU. Pictures from the NL. Edwin Sanchez from Bethune-Cookman. Reagan Rivera from Central State. Diego Barrett from North Carolina A&T. Eric Gonzalez from Jackson State. Nkosi Diaz. I know he's Texas Southern. Kennedy Fabian from UAPB. Calvin McClendon from Texas Southern. And then the two-way they have is Jay Campbell from FAMU. On the American League, we got Jonathan Gonzalez from Maryland Eastern Shore. First base is Andrew Martinez from Bethune-Cookman. Jalen Mack from Southern. Keelan Duncan from Alabama A&M. The infield, that list is still coming. It's not fully available. The outfield is also not fully available right now for the American League. Why don't we wait till the American League get their list?
I got you.
You got it? Okay.
So you got Tyler Smith as catcher for A&T on American League. So they got it to where National League is headed by Brian Jordan, and American League is headed by David Justice. Both of them used to play for the Atlanta Braves. Vinny Samuel from Pine Bluff. Andre Martinez from Jalen Mack from Southern. Kylan Duncan from A&M. Taj Bates from Southern. Cade Wood from Valley. KJ White from Southern. Shannon Brown from Grambling. Justin Jernett from Norfolk State. Darrell Lee from Bethune. Jordan McClatty from Jackson. Jalen Jones from Norfolk State. Joseph Eichelberger from Jackson. Jalen Burrell from Alabama State. Cameron Hill from Grambling, Eric Elliott from Jackson, Giancarlo Zambrano from Bethune, Johan LeBoy from Alabama State, Garrett Workman from FAM, Eastside Pena from Alabama State, Jafet Martinez from Alabama State, Yonso Diaz from Bethune, and Nick Luckett from Southern. So those are the rosters for both for the American League and the roster for the National League. So, and then you got some players that's in this game that have played before. The only one that's played multiple times, I mean more than twice, is the catcher Irvin Escobar from Bethune-Cookman. This is his third time playing in the Swingman Classic.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to land on a roster. But we have a couple breaking news. Like while we were going through that, the NHL and the NHLPA have extended their collective bargaining agreement through 2030, which includes an 84-game schedule.
So you just had 2 more games.
I don't want to hear another NBA player.
They extended it, but
I don't want to hear another NBA. Yeah,
you add 2 more. It's 2 more games. It is hockey is the equivalent of basketball when it comes to schedule. They schedule 82 games. Now during Olympic times, they only schedule it for 72 because they have a break in between. So they're not going to play the whole 82.
Yeah.
It's just as much when they go to the playoffs because everything is best of 7. That's why you see hockey. Hockey goes longer than NBA. Plus, hockey starts a week and a half earlier than the NBA too. So, like you said, nobody should be complaining about. They should be.
I bet not hear now NBA player.
mm-hmm.
And for everybody that want to say, "Oh, it's not the same." So basketball starts travel ball early. The same thing with hockey, but I think hockey starts a little earlier because when them kids get in their teens and they start to show pro level ability, they start going to academies. So you'll have the different academies, and then you'll have the different minor leagues. Tennessee State has a kid coming out of the academy that's going to play for them this year. So all that, we play too much basketball, too much. I still think both sports play a lot on their bodies. But NBA players talking about they're getting injured because X, Y, and Z, somebody got to actually do the data and figure out why they're getting injured, because a more physical sport, a up and down, constantly moving sport, is having less injuries than the NBA. Somebody got to do the data. Another breaking news right before I got in was Thomas Castellano has filed an appeal to the House settlement. So a young man who's getting NIL and revenue sharing money has filed an appeal to the House settlement. So we'll see where that goes. That's still my quarterback. That's still my. Yeah, that's still. It's gonna be. He's not gonna be the only one. It's gonna be a bunch to file. The kid from Princeton that is gonna redshirt this entire year to hit the transfer portal, I'm sure he's gonna file an appeal. I'm sure of it. So, but I guess who's running the Orlando Magic now? Is it still the Amway family? Is it still them people?
Talking about the DeVos family?
I believe so.
Yeah, is it still them?
Not sure.
Mm-hmm. Probably Ace Ventura.
Nope, it's still the Boss family.
I'm about to say,
It's still
yeah.
the Boss family. Yeah. It's still maybe they seen the light. Maybe they saw the podcast and heard me talk about how they ain't gonna never invest in the future. Maybe, but they have invested in the future, and I don't know what took them so long. But congratulations, because if I was Paolo, I want my money in.
$1 million. I wanted the nickels and dimes.
Because they just gave him $287 million in a rookie max contract extension. So they now have a window of 4 years to get it done. It's just a shame it ain't going to be in the next two. Because the Knicks going to get one in the next two.
Joe Wilson didn't start the second half.
So, but
I'm gonna need
$287.
before I get into with Paolo's contract. I'm gonna need the Orlando Magic to go ahead and formally retire Penny Hardaway's jersey up there. Seriously, I need to retire his jersey ASAP, like yesterday.
Penny?
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
I'm about to give a hot take, and a lot of people ain't gonna. I'm about to get a hot take, and people ain't gonna like it. And I understand why. Is Nick Anderson jersey retired?
You know whose own jersey retired? Is Shaq. Dwight Howard's jersey is not retired.
So
Could be. It will be.
I would say two jerseys should be retired for two different reasons.
They just retired Dwight Howard jersey this past year.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, so Dwight Howard jersey is retired before Nick Anderson.
Or
Nick Anderson's jersey should be retired.
Yeah, Nick Anderson's jersey should be retired, and Penny Hardaway should be retired. Both of them should be retired at the same time. I'm just
all right, and let me put this disclaimer up and explain. Hold on, let me put this up before I say what I say, because I know it's about to explode when I say this. The other jerseys that should be retired: Scott Skiles and that pretty dude in Daytona, Reggie Theus. Reggie Theus was an expansion pick, and he was the best thing they had going.
in Orlando.
Dennis Scott?
I can put Dennis Scott. Y'all can put Dennis Scott in Orlando.
I was retired 3D's jersey before I retired Reggie Theus.
Yeah.
Reggie Theus jersey need to be retired in Chicago when he was with the Bulls. But
here's what I say this. They use Reggie Theus to barnstorm around the state to get people interested in the Orlando Magic. They played here at the, back then it was a Thunderdome. They played here at the Thunderdome to get people to buy season tickets. They played in Miami. They played like 3 places. They played in Orlando, but they played somewhere else too. Maybe Jacksonville. But they did a barnstorming tour to get people involved in this organization. And Reggie Theus was the guy before Nick Anderson got there. Remember, Nick Anderson was their first big draft pick. But before Nick Anderson, it was Reggie Theus. Now, he shot the air out the ball.
He only did 1 year. I can't.
He was.
Dang, he only did 1 year. Yeah, that's crazy work.
I cannot put Reggie Theus.
Yeah,
only because, like you said,
he was their expansion pick.
Don't mean nothing to me.
He set the foundation.
There was no foundation with Reggie Theus in Orlando.
Well, that
was no foundation with Reggie Theus was in Orlando.
So, hold on. The organization sucked for a good 5 years now. Let's not act like it wasn't. Like, if you don't remember Matty Gukas as the coach, you don't know. This was back when I was a fan. Back when I was a man. Again, that would be my pick. People may disagree, but that would be my pick. I'm sure Marlo would definitely disagree for obvious reasons, but I'm being level-headed about everything. But back to Powell.
Reggie Theus didn't play at Houston.
Back to Powell.
Reggie Theus played at UNLV.
Reggie Theus played
at
UNLV. He played for the Shark. And so Orlando is actually trying to win now. Like right now. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, with them getting Bane.
I just want to be clear because
I think so.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. I am 100% shocked. But they made the move. I think I did not question the Desmond Bane move. But if they're trying to put together pieces for the long term, Desmond Bane long term, didn't they give him a contract extension?
Man, he got
I think he got an extension
in
Memphis.
He got a max. It
was the season before in Memphis.
Yeah, he signed a max deal in Memphis, but that deal goes over to Orlando.
Yeah, he got a 5-year, $207 million contract. So they in win now mode. And then again, that would do wonders. If they could win, that would do wonders for the Orlando area. Absolutely do wonders for the Orlando area. I wish an owner in the Tampa Bay area would take that motto or mantra, but we know he ain't gonna do that, and he dragging his feet selling the Rays. So it is what it is. I think we're gonna take a quick commercial, and then we're gonna come back with the shocking news of the week, the absolute shocking news of the week. But we'll be right back. You know what? Since it's about to be SWAC Media Day, this one's for Marlo.
What the hell is that on the screen? That should say BCU donation fund.
We're going around the whole SWAC, Marlo. The whole.
Why in the fuck is it under my picture? What in the hell just happened? My bad, y'all. I
tell you what, Marlo will never hesitate to alienate a whole fan base.
Classic. Absolute classic.
So
always a classic.
Because so we like to allow people to be themselves, and Marlo is himself.
No, we talking about fame.
Marlo is authentically himself, so we allow him to be himself, and that's what's happening. So the MEAC apparently missed the podcast that Shady McCoy was on when he was talking to Coach Jackson about coaching HBCUs, and to be clear, LeSean McCoy was the only one talking this way. not Coach Jackson. So let's make sure we are clear on that. Let's make that delineation. But LeSean McCoy was lamenting the fact that he's not an HBCU coach. And if he was at, say, a Howard, he would love to be in the midst of the young women on Howard's campus. And then
Right.
the MEAC, because remember, Jay and Tiffany does all the HBCU media days, and it has been fine without a problem. But I guess ESPN and the MEAC want to inject a little spice into it, so they got a Fox guy, because he's on Fox, a Fox guy, to come in and add in the mix. And he's going to be part of the MEAC HBCU Media Day. Now, in full disclosure, I believe he played with both Vic and Coach Jackson, so there are tie-ins there. So that kind of makes sense. We, as a platform, have not applied to the MEAC Media Day only because we don't cover it enough, and we're not necessarily in that footprint. So that's the only reason why we're not at the MEAC Day. It just, at this point, it doesn't make sense yet. Later on down the line, if we do cover it more, then we'll look into that. But that's the only reason we're not at SWAC Media Day. I mean, MEAC Media Day.
I signed up for it. I signed up for it. I just want to see what they're going to say.
So, I have not. I'm going to be interested to watch the clips from that. But Danny, as the resident woman on the podcast, let me get your opinion. Let me get comfortable. Let me get your opinion on LeSean McCoy covering Media Day for ESPN and the MEAC. It's gonna be good.
I love LeSean McCoy. Let me say that. However, my question becomes, let me backtrack. Let me back this up. I feel like it's always good for ESPN to do this thing where they love promoting the famous people, right? The celebrities. They love that. They get a rise out of that. But they don't support HBCUs like they should. So my question would be, rather than paying Shady McCoy all this money, why don't you get one of the black interns that you have working for you that want to be broadcasters and commentators and color analysts and start to feed into them and feed into the things that they want to do? Pull in, they could have created a program or something that pulls in mass communications majors from each one of the schools and have them doing additional coverage from Media Day. But they don't want to do that because it's not about opportunity for the people that are up and coming. You support Black people when it's convenient for you, not because it's right. That being said, I wish that does all his research that he needs to do to make it successful. I have so much more that I want to say, but because of what I do, sometimes I have to tread a little more lightly. But
Completely understand.
I just feel like there are different ways that we could do things. And again, I'm a Philly fan. I love LeSean McCoy. Um, I wonder how much value he will add to the HBCU conversation as a Pittsburgh grad. That's my question.
I'm a
I would have brought
I'm
someone
gonna
in
say this.
and
If
talked about the HBCU experience. Like I want a color analyst for this. I want someone from the HBCU side that has that experience and can add value to the conversation and not just talk about the sport. What value are you adding by bringing in a non HBCU analyst? What value? Great. The man is a Hall of Famer. He knows football. He's a legend in Philly. I don't give up. And I love Philly. Y'all know I love Philly. Y'all know I love my birds. But in this situation, we have to start doing better and right by our HBCUs and bringing in people that are actually going to tell our stories. Media Day has to go beyond the sport. And when you don't bring in enough people that are going to share about the stories behind the scenes, you're missing the mark.
I got so much to say.
I have so much
I'm
more
gonna
that I
say
can
this.
say.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna go to Doc. I'm gonna go to TP. I was blessed to go to school in a town where there was an HBCU across the street, right? However, there is a level of gatekeeping that should happen because there are people who have gone to PWIs who do not respect the culture. They don't know the culture and they don't respect it, right? So, Lawrence, 100. If he does not, he has missed an opportunity. And before I go to TP, I'm just gonna tell y'all this now. Me and Malo and the other guy before TP came in, we were covering HBCU sports without actually trying to tap into the analytics. We were just doing this for fun. And then one day we had videos popping up, blowing up, here and there, here and there, here and there. The niche conversations that you have on YouTube will get you more pull than shooting everything at the wall, if you will. So the numbers will be there for him if he hits the right subject matter. I'll say it that way. TP, what you got?
I feel like, if you have to use your platform, for positivity. And if you're not doing that, then you are a hindrance. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, why would I get on TV? Why would I get on here and then talk down on my own people when we're trying to promote something? And if you're not, and I don't see it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at. But I don't know, because I don't really watch these other podcasts, so I can only go off of like what y'all say. No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, what I'm missing, basically.
Oh, whew, you are blessed. If I could unsee what he said, I would go back to thinking differently about him. I'll just say it that way. DK, what you got?
Well, I'm not the craziest fan of it. Initially I thought it was something completely different, but even still, Shady kind of speaking anything about HBCUs, I'm like, a little. Not I don't it's not that I don't care, but like I he the comments that he had said, I don't know how many months ago, but he just the way that he shed light on the HBCU community, it rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not fully indulged into the HBCU community as I feel like I should be as a fellow African American, but I didn't like at all how he did that, and now he's kind of like getting rewarded in a sense for it. Like that to me is just odd. So that's the fact that he just doesn't seem to care. It feels like. So if that's what they choose to do with it, if they feel it's better marketing for them to have a bigger name there, I can't, I'm not in the space to be able to make a change, but if that's their choice, go for it. But I don't think that was the smartest decision. And I'm kind of with Danny on it. Like, put somebody else that I'm sure there's a bunch of names that they could have used. Not him. Not him. So.
Ooh, okay. All right, Doc. What you got?
I'm gonna be honest with you. We all know this is because of the fact that all three of them played together at one point in time when they was in Philly. To me, what he said when on that show, to me, it was a slap in the face. It was a slap in the face for Howard because Howard does have a head football coach right now. Even though he didn't have much of a great season last year, the man went to a Celebration Bowl. He won his conference 2 years ago. So let's not act like Larry Scott can't coach, because he can coach his ass off. The thing about it is that in order for them to have that buzz, because there's Coach Vic and Coach D-Jack at their respective universities, you got to bring in a middleman. And the last time I thought Shady McCoy was signed to FS1 instead of ESPN. So I'm trying to figure out how does that play about in this whole thing too, because you're going like you at FS1 and you going over to the ops. Let's just point plain and simple. You going to the ops to cover media day, and it's cool. Like I said, it's cool to have it in Baltimore. They have it in Baltimore. They're having it at M&T Bank Stadium to get their name out. But let's be real. The MEAC has not been. They have not been in the spotlight. I mean, the brightest in the spotlight for a very long time. And again, I've always said it goes back towards leadership. So to me, when I'm gonna be honest with you, if the MEAC when the MEAC decide to get serious about when it comes to football and stuff and expansion and stuff, let me know when they change out commissioners. I mean, but
again, if even
on that podcast, it's still because he signed with FS1, he's going over to ESPN. I'm trying to.
And there are tons of podcasts that they are not marketing. True. There are tons of podcasts that are going to be there that they're not marketing. So to make him a headline, So even if he does not appear on any ESPN broadcast, the very fact that the MEAC said, hey, this is our lineup, he is in the center between Tiff and Jay.
So that means that he's going to be talking to Tiffany and Jay about some sort of football. And to me, like you said, you know, they're not promoting other podcasts. Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Are they broadcast? Are they promoting HBCU nightly? Because Josh and BJ
That's a good question.
and everybody else over there, and I can say I'm included, but I haven't been over there in a while. They have done their due diligence to get where they at to bring that particular platform to where it's at now. Starting off from basically, we started off on Twitter. We started off on Twitter, having Twitter, you know what I'm saying, having a Twitter show, and then advanced it to the internet, to YouTube. And it took some convincing to just like, hey, you'll probably get a bigger audience if you're on YouTube instead of being on Twitter, even though you can get a lot of people on Twitter. But the thing is, have they promoted that show right there? Have they promoted any other podcast that deals with like the different universities for the MEAC, especially when it comes to football? I don't think the MEAC has done that. I would think that the SWAC has done that because of the simple fact that, I mean, you got more schools. You got more schools. You got more people that talk individually. Like, it took a minute. To be honest with you, nobody talked about PV until Lionel put himself out there and made PV versus everybody. And he's doing it out. Him and Kerry are doing it off their own backs. Nobody talks about, you know what I'm saying? You like, fam, you got the ONG strike zone with Brian now. Like,
ONG.
yeah, and then of course with Jackson State, like, it's plenty of us with Jackson State. I can't put, to me, I'm just saying like this. I can't put myself be just talking just about Jackson State because I don't. I talk about everybody. I talk about big and small. But you got people like Timona with Sheila D, and you got Ken with KC 1400. You got Tiger Talk. You got all these entities like, G talk about with Alcorn with his thing. Southern with Carlos with Carlos Brown. Jaguar Journal with Perry White. Like, you got all those guys right there. They do a damn good job of what they do. Texas Southern, shoot, that's but I know the guy's name, but he covers the Saints also, but he covers Texas Southern sports. So like, everybody has a lane. Every school in the SWAC has some sort of lane. You know what I'm saying? And it's pivotal. It's important for the SWAC to try to promote these, these podcasts, because without us, you not the SWAC might be in the dojo again. You know what I'm saying? Like, just and to me,
it is free marketing.
It's free marketing.
I had a conversation today about why professionalism in this industry is important, right? How we communicate with athletic departments, how athletic departments communicate with us, because we do this because we love it. I would love to say that I'm giving out tens of thousands of dollars to everybody on the podcast. I'm just not right now. I got to get these numbers up, right? So we're doing it for the love, and we've been doing it for the love, right? We get some perks here and there. We at the Celebration Bowl, we got, breakfast and lunch. Shout out to ESPN for that. But we do this for the love. And so when you have a free marketing stream that is getting you 1,000 eyes per podcast. I think the last podcast we had just on the video was like 468 on just the clip. So you're getting 1,000 views a week on an individual podcast. Those numbers add up. So if you got 20 podcasts in the SWAC and 8 in the MEAC, and 5 in the CIAA, so on and so forth, those numbers add up, and the more eyes you have on the sport, the better. You have people for the love of what they do telling the stories of these people. And when you have outside entities, and I'm an outsider, I have no problem saying that I'm an outsider, but I make sure everybody understand, you never gonna take my love from FAMU. It's never gonna happen. We can go ahead and fight outside. It ain't gonna happen. Because in 1994, that lovely school was giving me $15 an hour to be a janitor, and that was a lot of money back then. Trust and believe. It was some Ashley classes, but we was turning out bottles. So, again, there's nothing anybody's gonna ever do to take that away from me. And I know some FAMU people may feel some type of way about me going to Florida State. But again, let's be clear. My 800 time was never gonna get me in the FAMU. It was never gonna happen. So if you ever want to be mad at me because I went to Florida State and not FAMU, understand my 800 time was never going to get me in the FAMU. There's no reason for you to be mad. I love FAMU for the love. But that brings us to a story that really came from another podcast. And I know people like to call me a provocateur, and I like to argue. I ain't started this argument. It wasn't me. It was no chill sports. Check them out. Yeah, see. Exactly. That's what it was. So when everybody's like, no, my firstborn son, when he had croup, that insurance from FAMU paid for him to go to the hospital. So yeah, that's why it is what it is. But I'm getting back to the no chill sports story. I didn't start this. It's a conversation. And I'm going to set the conversation up so everybody can understand. Right now, the SWAC has 2 divisions, East and West. Throughout the season, because you will have uneven conference games, certain conference games don't count for certain schools if they have too many SWAC games. So, for instance, if Jackson State has 13 SWAC games on their schedule, this is just throwing it out there. If they have 13 SWAC games on their schedule, one of them isn't going to count, so they have an even number of SWAC games. If you remove the divisions, then you have a pod system. So the pod system would start with your rivals first, and then I would assume they would do by location, so you're not flying all the way across the United States all the time. So they would probably start with the closest opponents next, and then go from there, right? So you would still have an even number of games, but those teams that you play will rotate year in and year out outside of your rivals. No Chill Sports put up a poll. And just from listening to a lot of stuff, I didn't think this poll was going to go anywhere. But apparently a lot of people are in favor of divisionless football. So I'm going to put it to the podcast. How do you feel about the SWAC playing divisionless football? And that would take the two best schedules into the SWAC championship.
Yeah, I like it. Creates less
DK.
controversy. Whoever's the best, yeah, that's how. Yeah, I like it. I honestly do like it. Whoever's the best is the best at the end of the year. You know, how many teams is in the SWAC?
12.
12. So you're not going to get to play everybody in a given season, anyways, right? So yeah, it's going to happen that way. I'm sure they're going to. What, you play 8 conference games, right? I'm guessing.
Yep.
So you just won't play 4 teams, and I'm sure that they can fit the other 4 teams in the next season's schedule. Yeah, may the best man win is how I feel. May the best man win. By having the divisions, it kind of adds an extra element, I guess, because it's like you kind of have to you have some sort of focus on just that side. But to me, I feel like what breeds the best competition. Just everybody has a shot. Go for it. You know, you're not just you're trying to see if you could be the best in your division. What if the best 2 teams are in the same division? You're not gonna credit the other team that's so like, I don't know, that's how I feel. But the best 2 teams win.
So the thing about it is though, DK, the best 2 teams in the conference has always been in the East.
You know what I'm saying? So it would alleviate like you now if there isn't any, it's just the best 2. You can't be like, oh dang, now I got second place and I see this team that got 3-4 losses, conference losses, but they're in the championship. Like, come on, man. That would make me mad. That would make me so mad. But my 1 loss is to the team that is ahead of me in my own division. Like, come on.
TP?
You're not wrong. Conference losses don't, if you're trying to make the playoffs, you're trying to get to the end, you have to win in your conference. That's like rule number 1. First of all, that's where all your rivals are. So you circle these games for a reason. And then once you get into the season, you can, hey, we win these games, we got a shot. Because a lot of times, like if you're a lesser team or like if you're a bottom and you're just trying to fight, or if you're not in one of those Power 5 conferences, you might schedule a Power 5 like an Alabama or something, to get some good work. But you still have to compete, because just because you put them on your schedule and you go out there and get blown out, like, does that really help you? So a lot of these cupcake teams that be, they'll accept the money. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, that's what the board is saying. The board is saying, hey, we got to make some money somehow, so let's schedule, LSU or Texas early in the season, and then you get to the point where you getting blown out. Did you really help your school? Like, yeah, y'all might have made some money, but that don't look good at the end of the day. That's for the FBS schools. Why are you scheduling these weak opponents? Like, we got 12 teams that make it to the playoffs. So if you gonna make it, then you got to start out. You got to come out the gate swinging. I like that my team is playing Ohio State week 1. Win or lose, we're gonna learn a lot about our team that day. Win or lose, I think we got the better team. I think we should win, but they still got to go out there and compete. I don't know.
So Doc, I can't remember this. I can't remember the school that is playing. What is that? American, whatever. I don't remember the school, but one of the schools in the SWAC is, to TP's point, is playing lesser competition. Sometimes it's because you just got to get games in.
Oh, you talking about?
What just happened? I don't know what happened.
So basically, almost every.
I don't remember the school.
So I'm gonna be on. So really, because I know you was on the you watched the show on Sunday. So the school every school in the West, literally almost every school in the West, except for I think Southern, is playing Lincoln University out of California. Pine Bluff is playing them, and they're playing another school called Westgate Christian University. It's in Houston. I don't know what part of Houston it's in. I don't know if it's close to Sharpstown or whatever. All I know is they're playing at school, and we're like, everybody was on the stream like, who the hell is that? Who's playing? Who is that they playing? But like, yeah, they just trying to fill in spots. So to me, it's like you're gonna look at it. Pine Bluff probably gonna have 3 wins. 2 are gonna be from the cut case, and maybe 1 from Valley. That could be a toss-up game right there. But
so basically, they got no confidence. So they gonna put some sorry teams on the schedule too. At least we ain't go winless.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
Is that what you're saying, Doc?
Let me pull this up. Troy. Hold
That's
on.
what it sounds like you said. It sounds like you said they put these teams on their schedule because they know they're not gonna win no other games.
All right, pull that up, Troy. All right. So this is Pine Bluff schedule, y'all. We talked about this on Sunday. So
That's Texas Tech. They're gonna lose by 80. Look.
Lose by 80.
Texas Tech is gonna surprise a lot of people this year.
Texas Tech gonna lose. They're gonna lose.
Do you blame them? Hold on. Do you blame them for making a cupcake schedule? They can barely get a win. I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Let me be real with you, DK. This is the 3rd year in a row that they have played FBS competition for the first game of the season. Last season, they played Arkansas, Pig Suey, Fayetteville, Fayetteville High School. That's what I call them. Got ran up by 77 last year. The year before that, they played Oklahoma State. Got ran over. And the year before that, they played Tulsa. Got ran over. This year, they're about to get beat by 80. Texas Tech is going to be throwing tortillas all over the field. And then it's going to be ugly. And then let's look at this. They play Central Arkansas the next week. And Central Arkansas is not a slouch. So and then here you go. This 3rd game right here. This is a home game. That's Lincoln University out of California. It is a non-affiliated, non-sanctioned team. Basically, it is a renegade team. So they would be playing them. They have Alcorn for the Southern Heritage Classic. It's going to be boring. They are on the road in Houston. They'll be in Houston for Texas Southern. They'll lose that game, and then this the other game that they will win right here, that Westgate Christian University, the Ravens. And in fact, if you think about it, I'm looking at it now. They don't play Valley on their schedule. Valley drops off their schedule. That'll probably be the two games that they win right there. Every other game they will lose, and Coach Hampton will probably be fired after that.
Even the Cookman?
Bro, even Bethune-Cookman. This is a struggle. That Bethune-Cookman game is a struggle game for both schools.
Damn.
And the fact that they're on the road too, they're going to Daytona. So that Westgate Christian School,
They play FAMU.
They play FAMU at home.
They're going to Tallahassee.
They're going to Tallahassee. No, they play FAMU at home.
Oh, you're right.
Southern at home, FAMU at home, Grambling.
I don't know if I can go. I don't know if I can go to Pine Bluff, dog.
Last two games on the road with PV and Alabama State.
I want to go to all the schools in the SWAC, but I've heard about the drive to Arkansas Pine Bluff, and
that's nasty.
I don't like driving through Alabama. So driving from what you got to go drive from Houston to Pine Bluff?
Whew. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's you drive from Houston to Pine Bluff, you go through East Texas, go through
it's about the same for both y'all, no? If my geography serves me
A
correct.
bunch of sundown
go
counties.
through a whole bunch of sundown counties and sundown towns, get to Texarkana, and then I don't know which way you got to go, but my wife just looked at me and she like,
not happening.
Nah, you don't want to go through there.
Man, who goes to Pine Bluff?
Nobody.
You know,
I just, and again, there's no, and to be clear, there's no shade to Pine Bluff. We love all the schools in the SWAC. I'm trying desperately to get to more schools, to get to more games.
I'm sorry, they tried.
I'm probably gonna have to get to retirement RV stage before I get to Pine Bluff. And then
like the way you said it, the divisionless game, the divisionless conference. I mean, we were once divisionless before we added Alabama A&M. And once we added them, they brought it, they brought the divisions in. But to me, if you look at it, if you look at the competition in the West, it's hell on wheels in the West. It's hell on wheels. And the reason why I say it's hell on wheels because it's always that first game of the season between Texas Southern and PV for the Labor Day Classic. So whoever wins that game you can kind of say they automatically have somewhat of control in the West. But it's the basic thing is that they beat up on each other. Like, it could be Alcorn could play Texas Southern. I remember about a couple years ago when Alcorn came down to Houston, it rained and it seemed like they just gave up and Texas Southern scored 44 on them. But Darius Owens ran for over 200 yards in that game. Then you got Prairie View. Of course, you got Prairie View and Grambling for the State Fair Classic. That's the West matchup. It all depends. Prairie View has owned Grambling the last 5 out of 6 years in that game. I think it might change this year. I think it'll change this year. You got Grambling versus Texas Southern. You got really it's Prairie View versus Southern because that to me whoever wins that game right there wins the West. But when you come into the East, it's the big three in the East. It's Jackson, Bam, and Alabama State. We don't really care. See, we don't really too much care about Alabama A&M. We really don't too much care about the other two schools, Valley or Bethune. So it's I said it. You don't care about it. It's always gonna be Valley. I mean, it's always gonna be Jackson versus Jackson versus Bama State versus FAMU. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna be those three. It just so happened we were undefeated last year.
So like, and this is just, I don't know, but we're essentially a week out from Media Day, right? And I would love to see Alabama State do better. I don't want them to win it. I just want to see them do better. Because there were a lot of high expectations last year. And in one game, it all went from sugar to crap, right? So is Andrew Body healthy? Is he playing for Alabama State? Is Alabama State going to throw the ball? The same questions that I have for Alabama State, I have for NCCU in the MEAC. And people's like, oh, well, he threw the ball. Talking about Walker Harris. I think he averaged, 1,800 yards last year?
Mm-hmm.
I think, and this is just me, right? I grew up on a different type of HBCU football. This new run it 8 million times, like Canada North, that's new for me. Because where I grew up and what I grew up watching is, you better put that thing in the air. You're going to run it a bunch, but you better put that thing in the air and be bombs over Baghdad. Or the fan base that I grew up around and I end up going to go watch in college, they're gonna have some words. They're gonna have some words. Now it is a section that's gonna say run the win. You ain't gotta put the ball in harm's way. But it's also a big old section that spend a lot of money to drive a long way or catch flights to be entertained. And I ain't just talking about the marching band. So that's like if Texas ran the ball like Troy played Madden. It's going to be some alumni that go out there with a shotgun and have a question for the head coach.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Every game we ran the ball more than 30 times, we won. Every time we ran the ball 30 times or more, we won. The alumni won a championship. We don't give a fuck how we do. Look, I'm telling you. And that's where Sarkisian would get in trouble in big games. He want to air it out. And that's when we would get in trouble because Quinn couldn't stand up to the blitz. He couldn't get away from it. He made bad decisions. And they didn't want to throw Arch in the fire too early. Because if you throw Arch out there, and this is just me trying to understand the mindset, if he goes out there and he gets hurt while Quinn is still available and you potentially hurt the future, that's going to look worse, especially if you're not – so to use Arch the way that we need to use him, he needs to run the ball. That's part of his skill set. And if we're not doing that, then we're not using his entire skill set. But as far as going out there and running the ball a bunch of times, the alumni won't have a problem if we're winning. Winning is how you keep the alumni happy.
Well, we definitely gonna find out. We're gonna take another quick break, and then we're gonna end with a bang. We're gonna end with a bang.
I have 4 years of film on reasons why Florida State is not going to return my emails. And I completely understand that. That being said, what? Y'all act like I know who I am. I know what I said. I don't care, but I know what I said.
But you want to be this good guy. You that guy. You that guy that, oh, woe is me. They picking on me. And you done told you want 100 to march down this man's street. You said you want to send moving vans and put a for sale sign in front of his house that he live in. I don't want you to be rooting for my team like that. Not like you root for your team.
Not like that.
You root for your team different.
He might be the worst fan in the history of fans.
So much to be a fan-based podcast.
and Troy is the worst fan I've ever seen in my life.
I don't.
He is by far the worst fan I've ever seen.
TP, you play to win the game. The standard is the standard.
Stop it. Wake Forest.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Wake Forest.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. These blue chip recruits signing. There was one, that 5-star corner. Again, that boy came in on a Friday. I know what y'all did. He came in on a Friday. I know they took him to FAMU. You can't make me think he didn't go to FAMU. He went to FAMU. They brought him back and said, you got all this culture here. They ran the Bobby Blitz on him. And they knew that the revenue sharing was coming. So I found out, I posted on Twitter that the Louisiana governor raised the taxes on gambling. And then it's going to give 25% of those taxes to Division I schools for their athletic programs. Just not NIL and revenue share. Now, I have, because my experience is twofold, PWI and HBCU, I know there in Florida, we have two congregations here, Florida State and the Bootskins, that will make sure that everybody involved in such a decision would not be running for office no more. I don't know a lot of LSU people. But how would our LSU people, like Bootskin people, do they donate to Republican offices and campaigns? Because if so, you have just handicapped LSU, Grambling, and Southern. I mean, whatever other schools are in, Louisiana, Monroe. I forget what they changed the other Louisiana school to. Southwest Louisiana. What is that now?
Louisiana
I can't
Lafayette.
remember what they turned into.
Yeah, I'm about to say Lafayette.
Yeah.
Louisiana Lafayette.
You're not talking about the Raging Cajuns?
I like it. Yeah.
Huh?
Lafayette now. They Lafayette now.
You
Yeah, they Lafayette now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UL Lafayette. UL Lafayette. ULL.
So
the old.
it is, and listen, we are in a, you know what? I just thought about that. Jesus. We are in a different space. And if you can get revenue from places other than your alumni, that puts you in a better position because then the revenue you get from your alumni, you can disperse it for other things. And the only thing that Puss in White Boots and the Board of Governors got right was allowing the state schools to have access to their auxiliary money up to $22.5 million. That's the only good, nice thing I got to say right now about them. It is still wild, though, that they gave schools access to their own money to allow them to compete. But that I'm interested to see how the Tone Deaf Valley responds to their governor not giving them revenue sharing and NIL money. And side note, if y'all catch LSU band director in the street, tell him to stop playing that. I don't appreciate it. A whole bunch of people don't appreciate it. But that's just me. TP, NCAA football came out. I announced on my show my unretirement. I haven't seen you streamed it yet. But my question is, what's the best offensive lineman? That's what I need to know. I need the best offensive lineman. I can figure out the running backs though. I just need the best offensive lineman.
The best offensive lineman? Whoever's rated
Yeah.
higher. I just use whatever B&Ds I get, and we rock out. You don't need offensive
So I
linemen.
can't be losing.
You asked the wrong one, Troy. You asked the wrong person about offensive line.
Listen, I seen problem run stretch 22 times and spam an A button and just stiff arm this kid to death. I said, oh, I'm back. If there was any confusion, any trepidation, no, that's going out the window. I'm back. How you stiff arm a player 3 times on one play?
Derrick Henry does it.
Run up and get done up.
This gonna be a beautiful, beautiful video game football season. I would like to apologize to that blonde-haired lady in advance, because it's gonna be some cussing. I'm gonna be cussing out some people, kids. It's gonna be all right though. We're gonna bust some bundles. Listen, there is not a feeling in the world like busting a bundle and getting the top player out that bundle. I don't know what crack addiction feel like, but it's got to be something like busting bundles. It's got to be. Because I distinctly remember being on stream. I don't know. I probably bust $800 bundles. And yeah, that was that stream. I streamed for like 4 hours until I got a golden ticket. And I won't ever do that again. I was unmarried at the time. I had free time and money. Being married, I'm gonna limit my bundle pulling to 3 pulls a week. I wanted to be 3 pulls a day, but somebody did the math on that and looked at me crazy.
Yeah.
Look, my wife she can see like, every transaction.
Oh Lord. Oh,
she gonna hit me with what is all this Microsoft? Who is that?
Why all of a sudden? Oh, well, baby, see.
She's like, you spending money on the game?
You see, in July, we got to. That's our month. It's like Christmas. She gonna get to learn.
Man. Listen.
It's a new
there
game.
Is not a better time
And look, I ain't spent
Man,
half of what
there's
motherfuckers
nothing
done
like-
spent.
Right. It was probably only like two
That's-
transactions. You probably bought the premium pass, and then you bought you one bundle. It was like, hold on, wait a minute, multiple transactions.
I bought the booster today too. So.
Oh man, hold on. It was like, hold on, $5 here, 20 there, 25 here. Hold on, wait a minute.
See, I just go ahead and knock the $100 out, right? Just go ahead and get it out the way real quick because I want to see the best. You cannot listen. You can never do that in NBA 2K. Don't ever bust bundles in NBA 2K. They do not respect the Amex at all.
You are not guaranteed to pull shit.
Right. You are not.
You ain't gonna do nothing but pull a muscle in your arm, pulling out that credit card. That's all you finna pull.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Just put it back.
There go your bicep.
I will.
Just roll,
I
roll down to your wrist.
Damn it.
I don't know what that new move is where you run through 12 players. I don't know what that new move is. If it happened to me, I don't know if Microsoft.
It's called spam A or X, depending on what system you want. Just spam it. just fucking lay on X. Just bow. Just over.
Now, is there a specific person that I need to have to make it work better, or everybody?
Ricky, anybody with a good stiffy.
No,
anybody with a good stiffy will do.
So I got the wrong limited running back, is what you're saying.
It's been a long time since I played NCAA, bro. So I wouldn't even know what to do now.
Well, you know football. You know football, so you
custom kids out.
And that too. You know football.
Custom kids out. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need. That too.
Oh, we good with that.
The first time I get whooped, I'm gonna be like, that's okay. I'm gonna go buy me some better players. You gotta ask your mama.
Oh, don't worry.
Also, my wife.
Some teams, and you're gonna be like, yeah, this dude done spent a rent check because ain't no fucking way.
Dude got an 85 overall team day one.
Should have saw W team.
Oh man, listen.
I don't want to play those.
I have not seen his. W been saving all off season. Anytime you spend, listen, and I am not judging anybody. I know what I pulled live on stream. I know what I pulled. I know how much I spent on them pulls for that golden ticket. I am not judging nobody. But I got that Eric Dickerson. Took me a minute, but I got him.
Wait, you did all them challenges for Dickerson?
No, he talking about years ago when it was.
No, this was years ago. Golden ticket.
So DK, you want to hear something sad? I did everything for Eric Dickerson.
Pulled Ricky.
Box.
Oh.
I made the switch. And then I was like, man, I'm not doing that shit over again. I'll just walk in and just roll with what I got. I got a running back from LSU, though. He pretty quick. He gets it done. I'm trying to air the ball out anyway.
10 hours of your life wasted. Just wasted.
Hey, but I will say for the time that I had him in 25, this number is gonna blow your mind, and it might make Troy happy. Average 12 yards a carry, 12,000 yards.
Yes, I'm back. Yes.
And the card was out for like 3 weeks, not even, maybe.
I mean, when I say I was toting the rock, it was sad for everybody.
My brother says that was the best Eric Dickerson that he's ever seen, including the one in Madden that year.
Right, average 12 yards a carry.
You touched the ball.
And I ran the ball a lot. So just imagine, like I played D Croft and I beat his ass and I threw the ball 4 times.
Oh, I see why I see why he banned you now. Hey, you bad. Hey, you bad because he banned you. You passed the ball 4 times.
Hey,
I don't see anything wrong with that philosophy. Nothing. You want to blitz? Fine. Blitz the run. Blitz the run. But man, listen.
With the offense I ran. If you blitzed, it was worse.
Well, we rapidly approaching media day. And we are sad to see one of our members go because he has to get back to the streams that pay him. And I completely understand that. Absolutely understand that. And also having real life come at him. He used to be young, carefree. Their life was like, it's life out here.
Yeah, it's something called adult.
You can't do everything.
This is well, and I mean, I should have like presented this also, like, God willing, or like, I'm sure that there's times that Marlon comes in and out, or Marlon only makes Thursdays. So I'm sure, if you, Lord willing, and you let me, this not.
You're always welcome.
But
hold on.
You
Troy,
family. You're always welcome.
I was gonna kind of say the same thing, and I'm kind of sad that he said it before me.
It's just a whole lot of. If I kept my same schedule and I was working during the day, then cool. I could, like, my sleep balance is not out of whack. But just with people calling you in every other day on your days off, and it's been like that for 3 years, and you got a schedule change where instead of working a 9 to 5, now you're working at midnight, and you got to be up during that night. I'm cool with it because we sit here and play video games all day. But the fact of the matter is, it's still hard. You still kind of want to be asleep at night, just naturally. So it's just hard. It's just hard. I'm sure it's the same thing with TP. It's just, I don't got what he got. He got kids, 3 of them. So
and I'm in school.
So
I got 100 word. I got a 1,000 word essay due this week.
Yeah, nope, never again.
So it's so like the work life balance, and like, my wife, she still expects to have her time too. She still want me to work out. The kids. Work is work. That's a set schedule. That don't change. Not for me, at least.
It's lucky.
My work schedule. It's only because, like, I move locations within the company. I'm only in the hangar now. I don't work outside lunch, and I don't deal with pilots and nothing like that. So I'm in the inspection section. So all we do is just take jets apart, put them back together, set schedule, set break, lunch, all that. Like, it's pretty cool. I was talking to one of the guys down the ramp. He was like, man, it is bad down there. It's bad. Folks getting fired. Folks don't want to work there. I'm like, bro, you know how bad a job has to be to turn down a 6-figure paying job? Like, you understand how bad it has to be? And I'm like, man, I feel you. Hey, if you can see a spot open up down here, you better jump on it, because, my stress level went way down when I moved over. And because we was having schedules where we would come in at 4 a.m. one week, next week we coming in at 8 a.m., then the next week we coming in at 6, then we coming in at 5, then we coming in at 9. Oh, we night flying, so we coming in at 12:30. Like that, trying to balance life with that, impossible. I was breaking down over there.
Well, we are, like I said, y'all always welcome back. Always. And I'm going to be in y'all streams. I'm going to be sending love always, because I'm going to need to know what to do.
I'll still be
As
there
soon as I
Thursday.
lose,
Look, I won't miss a Thursday though.
Yeah.
I won't miss a Thursday. It's just the two.
Okay.
It's the 2 out the week because like with my schedule, like when I get home from work,
Yeah.
it's like all right, I can chill with the wife and kids, and then it's like damn, the podcast's gonna start. By the time the podcast over with, kids go to bed at 7:30. So I get up. I'm telling them good night after I've only seen them for about 30, 45 minutes. You know, that's been Tuesdays and Thursdays, but so like with the change in my schedule, I'm not gonna stream until late. So like when you will get done with your podcast on Tuesday, I'll probably be about to boot up right about then.
So yeah.
Like I said, I'm definitely gonna be checking it out. Also, real quick, I want to apologize to that lady because I was singing "Help Me Find My Draws" real loud in the Publix yesterday.
Wait.
I don't know why.
You was a wild dude.
Listen, it's a catchy song, and listen. I don't know. I can't remember the young lady that put it in my ear on Twitter, but she put it in my ear. I went and looked for the song on YouTube. It's one of them trail ride songs. It's based off the old "Let's Do It Again" song by the Staple Sisters. From is it called what? Yeah, no, from "Let's Do It Again" the movie. When I tell you. That song got in my ear, and I was singing it all day and all night till I got cussed out. It's a catchy song. It's a catchy song. Doc, you gotta look it up. It's a catchy song. Don't play it because we're gonna get copyright strike. But it's a catchy song. I promise you. It is absolutely a catchy song. And you know BZN, you know he knew it. So listen. Normally we do party shots, but tonight we're gonna do something different. I want to take time to thank TP and thank DK for giving us as much time as they could to make the content as good as it is. They still gonna be on that 24-hour roll. They still gonna be on it because I finally found some DK little shots, so they gonna be on the roll. I just didn't realize until a couple weeks ago how much TP has. TP has a boatload of content. And I thought he was the good guy.
Well, for one thing, it ain't you. Like, wait, is this what we try? Yeah. Wait, hold on. Is this where you going with this? Where we get to the point where the narrative has changed and now Troy is the good guy?
No, I'm not saying that I'm the good guy.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying it. I'm not saying I'm the good guy. I'm just gonna say everybody on this podcast ain't necessarily good. They just levels of less bad. I'm gonna say it that way. Marlo is 100% the bad guy. We're not getting around it. He is the bad guy. And then everybody else is just levels of less bad. Because in a minute, Doc gonna push Marlo very, very close for number one.
What's that?
Don't even look like that. You gave them people all kind of names for their schools that ain't their names.
All day.
Oh.
He don't forgot he had amnesia.
He turned the college back into a high school.
You talking about Baton Rouge Tech? You talking about Port Gibson Vocational?
Vocational was crazy.
You talking about? I mean, the Third Ward Tigers is fitting for them. The Third Ward Tigers because they are in the third.
Yo, you leave TSU alone.
I got nothing but love for TSU. I just don't say anything about Graham.
Look, if you ever go to TSU, just lock your cars. Don't leave nothing in the car that you ain't ready to lose.
Let's go for
Might not be there when you come back.
Right. Let's go to Frenchies. Let's go to Frenchies. That's it. That's how you do.
Well,
Alta Vista Plantation. That's Prairie View. Woo.
Prairie View out there too.
He's out there. Big Bama State.
Everybody.
Man. Oh my God. Did you? Oh my God. So again, I want to thank y'all for making this platform great. It has been a pleasure and a lot of fun. Lots of fun. And like I said on Twitter, we do a lot of fun, but we make sure we give y'all information.
Absolutely.
Because without the information, there's no reason to do this. We can tell jokes in a barbershop. So
And look, basketball when basketball season start back up, I'll try to make it a point to at least make it to like at least one a month. I'll come to the basketball podcast so we can at least get that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm not Thursdays I'm here. Thursdays I'm not, you know, we got Thursday night football to talk about. Like football is about to be on and popping.
So
you know, college and NFL and HBCU, we got it all to talk about. So, but as far as basketball, I'll be once a month.
He definitely gonna come because he gonna be heavy on his Rockets. Now they got real firepower.
Right.
Hey, look, man. Hey, you see how that shit come full circle? Do you see how that shit come full circle? Because where did Kevin Durant start his career?
At the University of Texas.
University of Texas. That shit come full circle.
Home. Well,
come on. Back
second home.
Back to Texas, man.
Nah, I think he got a house here. No, he got a house here somewhere in Houston or something like that. Because I think he.
Yeah, I was saying he's from what's the name? He's from Washington. But.
Yeah, it's either Houston or Austin, but he got a house out here. And it's bro be on, but he'll be on. He be hooping so much.
Well, Doc, tell the wife I'm trying to work on us getting to Vegas for the Vegas game. I'm the budget, trying to add some revenue to the budget so I can get out there because I want to go to Vegas a couple times. Did she just open?
Man, you know what? So Vegas coming up. The game in Vegas coming up now. I think it's a very good thing for all of us to get out there. I told my wife, I'm glad that the Raiders have put in the time and effort and the work to help promote this whole thing right here because this came out in March, I think around either February or March.
Yeah. And
they have been promoting the game all the way through since they said who was going to be there. You're going to have two dope-ass alumni fan bases there, Grambling and Jackson State. It's going to be a lot of alumni from other schools there, too, because the game it's fitting because it's 3 hours away from L.A., and L.A. got a lot of alumni, HBCU alumni out there, too. And let's not forget about the Vegas alumni. It's fitting for everybody to either if you're gonna go experience Vegas, but also take in the time to see about the schools and everything, and take in the time to do some recruiting out there too, because you never know, a kid might have aspirations of going to one of our institutions. And then two, if you can't be out there, make sure y'all watch that shit on HBCU Go. Make sure if you ain't got HBCU Go, download it on your phone, download it on your tablet, download it on your laptop, and if you got the Roku app, download it on your Roku app on your TV. That way you can watch HBCU Go. It is free. Let's put it just like that. It is free. Byron Allen has done a remarkable job with that app. And we are on year 3 with this app. Continue to put in the work and continue money into it.
So I want to make sure everybody go check out DK stream.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much.
Check him out. When's your next stream?
Probably
When's your next stream?
Probably tomorrow. Probably tomorrow at noon. Right after I'm done picking my brother up, picking him up from work.
Oh, that's 9 o'clock my time. That's break.
Uh-oh. You're ready. We locked in.
Then I think this is TP's. I think I got this memorized. Is that right,
that's
TP?
Not it. That's my Instagram. I mean my Twitter.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
TP _ King 26.
TP _ King 26, or is it just King?
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I got it right this time.
Nope.
Is that it?
No.
You gotta put the underscore between the TP.
We giving somebody a whole bunch of love.
You almost there. You almost there, though.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We getting there. We gonna fix it.
Save. All right. Now this is TP's.
There you go.
And I'll be
So give those guys a follow, sub to their channel.
I'll be live tomorrow night around what time Eastern would that be? Like 11 Eastern?
Okay.
I mean,
11 Eastern.
Well, for everybody here at the Madness Basketball Podcast, I want to thank everybody for coming out. 58 in the building. We had a spike. I want to say it was 60 something. So I want to thank everybody for coming in. For everybody here at Fat Mouse Sports and HBCU Overdrive, we are out.